Murtz Jaffer here with Latoya. The latest house gets to be evicted from Big Brother Canada. Latoya, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. Obviously, it sucks that I got evicted, but it is nice to be back home with my dog and my family and friends.
Now that you've exited the game, how do you really feel about Victoria and the way that she played?
I think that Victoria played a really emotional game. I think that Victoria made a decision based off of jealousy, and I was never targeting Victoria. We had had a conversation about working together and being allies. But because she was telling so many lies, she was not somebody that I wanted to be in an alliance with. And so I couldn't reciprocate the energy that she was giving me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it was a bad move for her to get me out because I was never targeting her. So that's not a good game move.
You know, traditionally on Big Brother, all male alliances have done really well. You know, there's lots of examples. We have like the Brigade, the Pretty Boys. Is there a reason why the women haven't been able to work together? And is this season an example of that even further?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think all the women in the house have such strong personalities. The women are running the season so far. We are the ones that are dominating, and it might be that. It might be that, all the women in the game, except for Tina and Tara, are real leaders, are real go-getters, are real decision makers. And so that might be why we haven't been able to work together.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk a little bit about the move. Now, obviously, you, Jed, and Ty didn't like Victoria's move to threaten to put you up if Jed used the veto. Now that the game for you is over, do you still feel like that was a bad move?
If I could go back, I wish Jed would have used the veto on me. I think it was a bad decision for us not to use a veto. And I even said that to him. I said, let's call her bluff. You know what I mean? I think it gives her more power that you've won the veto and you're not able to use it. What does it say about us? It says that she's won. We had a plan. Let's stick to the plan and deal with the consequences. Because I do believe that had she put Ty up, if Jed took me down, that I would have been able to, get everybody to vote to keep Ty.
Did you know in that moment, like when Jed decided not to use it, did you know that it was kind of over for you? And how much do you blame Jed for your exit, if at all?
I don't blame Jed for my exit. Ultimately, the only way to have ensured my safety was for me to win that veto. And I didn't, right? And so I understand why Jed made the decision that he made. I think it was a kind of a coward move, but I knew he wasn't going to use the veto before the ceremony. I understand why he did it because he couldn't risk losing Ty because, Ty is his number one. And at the end of the day, I knew that. But I do think he should have used it on me.
One of the ways in which you exhibited a lot of your maturity was maintaining your cool. You know, when Julie confronted you about throwing out her name, you said, you know what? I don't have time for this. I'm just going to the hot tub. When the big fight with Rohan happened, you chose to walk away. Is this how you are outside of the house as well?
It is. I'm very cool, calm, and collective. I believe that if I let somebody take me out of my element, then I give them power over me. And I feel like I was labeled as this intimidating person that, everybody was afraid of, but I kept it cool the entire time. And that is who I am. I think about my actions before I act. I'm rational, I'm logical, I'm reasonable. That's just who I am. And I think people wanted to see me explode and they didn't get that, and they weren't going to get that because I'm not giving anybody that kind of power over me.
Can you tell me more about the Sunsetter Alliance? Like, how did you guys come together? And I feel like you're somebody who puts a lot of thought into things. So obviously you put a lot of thought into the people that you wanted to work with. What went into that decision? What went into working with those people specifically?
So for me, Ty and Jed, I hit it off with them day one, and I knew I was going to be working with them from the minute that I walked into this house. Within 30 minutes, we knew we were going to work well together. I also hit it off with Kiefer because we were in the room, we were sharing a room together. We were on Team Defender together. And Kiefer's the one that actually came to me and said, listen, like, I really trust you. And I see that you're good with Ty and Jed. I think that it would be so unsuspecting if we were working together. And I said, you know what? Like, absolutely, I agree. I brought that idea to the boys and they loved it. And Kiefer at that time was displaying a lot of loyalty and a lot of trust. And we were building a personal relationship as well. So I felt that I could trust him. Then on the other side, I was spending a lot of time with Tina and I was getting to know her, and we were building a personal relationship, and I trusted her, and I said, okay, me with these boys, and then these two other people who are so different from us, it would be so unsuspecting. Like nobody would suspect that the five of us would be working together. And then Jed is the one that brought Beth into the equation. So I had no say or involvement in Jed and in Beth joining the alliance. But we thought again, like, wow, this is kind of just such a diverse alliance that nobody would suspect. And it kind of just started building every day. We were adding like another person. So it took about 4 to 5 days to really get the 6 of us together.
Speaking of Beth, did you notice her in any showmances?
Yes. More than one.
Well, that was the subtext of what I was asking. So what did you see? Like, you know, where is Beth's heart right now? With who?
I don't know where Beth's heart is, because we were actually supposed to have a conversation about, you know, what's going on with these boys, Beth? Like, what are you doing? Like, is there going to be like a real showmance? Is this going to evolve into something more? Which one do you like more? But we never had a chance to have that conversation. But yes, she is having, I don't know if you could call it, if you want to call it a showmance, but she is interested in Jed, and she's interested in Ty, and she's kind of just having fun and doing her thing. It's difficult being in the house and being disconnected from everybody. So she's playing her game.
Now, a second ago, you mentioned that you knew right away that you wanted to work with Jed and Ty, like from the start of the game. I look at them and I look at two people who are very big threats, big physical threats. Is an underlying part of the move to align with them the fact that if the alliance was ever discovered, they would always go after the two strong guys over you?
Yeah, like at the end of the day, I do believe that people are looking at them as a threat just off of physical appearance alone. And it's going to come to a point in the game where people are going to want to split them up, because it's so obvious that they're working together. It's so obvious that they jive and they click. And I wanted to play with strong people that were going to be comp beasts, that I believed were going to be good in the game, but I was also not afraid to do that. I believed that I could take them out when the time came. And so I wasn't intimidated that they were viewed as strong players.
There seems to be a major divide in the house with two clear sides. Are you surprised that the lines were drawn as early as they were?
I'm not surprised that the lines were drawn early. I wanted to draw the lines earlier because I was there to play Big Brother. I was just like, let's go. Why are we afraid to step on people's toes? Let's start making big moves. Let's get big players out. Let's just do this. And so I spent a lot of time, I feel, trying to, you know, reassure those guys that we needed to make big moves because they wanted to play nice with Kyle and Roe, right? But the reality is that the boys haven't really won anything. So how much of a big threat are they?
How much do you regret trying to flip the vote on Josh, if at all?
I don't regret trying to flip the vote on Josh and getting Rohan out. I regret not executing that flip. So,
but isn't that the same thing? Is that the same thing or no?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I should have executed it. I should have got him out, and I didn't, and that's my mistake. Is not getting him out. The flip is not the error. It's not executing it is the error. Because that should have been the move that should have been made.
You just said a second ago that like you're there to play Big Brother. You wanted like lines in the sand drawn, like that's how you play. In that respect, is there any part of you that respects what Victoria did at all? Like you chose not to hug Victoria at the end. Is there a difference? Like I want to see if there's any similarity between like wanting to play Big Brother and realizing what Victoria did.
Right. So I don't respect Victoria. How do I put it? I don't respect Victoria's game in terms of all the lies. I think there's boundaries when you're telling lies, but I do respect the fact that she saw me as a threat, and I respect that she made a big move and she took me out, and she was so manipulative and she told so many lies. So I think that she is a powerhouse, and I respect that about her, but I don't respect the lying and the conniving and the swearing on your family and just bringing your personal life into the game. Because really and truly, as much as it's a game and you're in a different world in the house, there's just certain boundaries that I wouldn't cross. I would never swear on my family. I would never do those things. And those are some of the reasons why the boys trusted her word because she said certain things that were, to them, they saw it as really dark, like who would do this, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, you're in this game, but like how far are you gonna go, right?
And is that the reason you chose not to hug her at the end when you walked out?
Yes, that's the reason, because she said in her HOH ceremony, she said that I wasn't the target. I mean, she's perfect for Big Brother. She's probably going to go very far. But again, I think that her move was emotional. It was based on jealousy. And, you know, like I said, I wanted to work with her and I could have worked with her, right? And I think that she's choosing to align herself with people that, you know, fuel her and make her feel good and suck up to her and kiss her ass and do all that stuff. That's what she likes. That's what she wants.
And finally, what was the best part about being on the show for you?
The best part about being on the show, one of them was the connections that I made with Ty and Jed. It was the competitions. It was stepping outside of my comfort zone. It was seeing my ability to convince people to vote a certain way. It was knowing that like I played a great game and that, you know, ultimately I got voted out because I was a threat and people were afraid to have me in the house. So I played my best game.
And who's your prediction? Who's going to win? Who's going to come out on top at the end?
I think that Austin has a really great shot of winning. I think she's sitting pretty good in the house right now. She's probably got the best position right now. She was HOH and she hardly got any blood on her hands. And she's basically on the winning side right now. And she's just kind of going along with everything. And when she's in power again, she'll probably make some big moves. I think she'll do well, but you know, I'm biased. I want my boys to win. I want Ty or Jed to win. So I'm really rooting for them and I hope they're able to turn things around.
Amazing. Latoya, thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me.